Hello, everyone. I'm Rick Jewers, one of the divine leaders sent here to the planet to clean up, let's say, the mess with the people, and also to take humanity forward. So I am not the only one. There's actually millions of us that are prepared to take humanity forward. So having said that, I have initiated what we call now the global people's monetary system. And we have a website set up using the acronym GPMS dot world. And you can check that out there. But to keep it simple, what we are doing is that the people needs to do this to take humanity forward. And the people need to come together to activate their own money and to create it as a huge community. And this is the only way to override what the governments and banks were doing, depriving ones of, sustenance, their livelihood, their existence, and what have you. So we are in great times of a huge transition that is occurring, and this is the shift. So I just wish to quickly, or it might take a little bit longer than quickly, just go over our comparison uh, of the old and what you can have in the new by joining us and activating um, your money um, through your, let's say, given your support. We need an autograph to from every one of you to create this huge force and then this huge voice as well. Then what occurs is that all of the people together we create this, and I would not be. This is not a fantasy, if you will. This is very true. It's very real. The entire planet has been set up for this increasingly, but more notably over the last year or so, due to the corona, where much has been revealed to the people, the actual intent of existing governments and elitists and all this. But we don't need to dig into what they did. Uh, you have the full range to freedom within this global monetary system that we are creating for the people and activating fully. So it doesn't matter what they did, is that you have this choice, this vote right now. And within a matter of months, once we collect enough signatures, autographs, this is a done deal. And this is the way it's supposed to be to liberate humanity and to alleviate all financial stress upon the planet. So this is a very important initiation treatment system and the control upon them by money. So we're taking perhaps a couple 100,000 upon the planet, and we're giving this power and assuring it gets done and activating this power for the billions of humanity. Enough is enough with the old ridiculous ways. So I'll get into it. Uh, Let me see the comparison. So with the old choice, let's see, how do we have this? I'm reading from our website. Okay, so with the old, what you have now, everything you've accumulated in your wealth, you retain it all. You keep everything in the new. This new monetary system is not about taking anything from anyone other than taking away the enslavement. So you keep everything going into this new, and you also receive a comfort level on top of what you already have that sets you free as we evolve this forward. Number two, in the old, you have taxes. There's no taxes in this new system. There is no use for it. Taxes involve a looping system to keep ones entrapped. With this new system, there is no need for taxes. We keep creating the funding, the money as you go forward. So there's never a need for any taxes. Also, the next one, there is no debt. So you have debt now, but in the new, there is no debt. It's only unlimited funding. There is never anyone to pay this debt back to. So there are no things as interest, mortgages, loans. There is none of that. It is instant funding for each. And looking at number five, existing loans and mortgages, if they are legitimate, they are instantly settled upon inception of our new system. So let's say you have a mortgage on a home now, a legitimate mortgage. Instantly upon inception of this, that debt is instantly settled and paid out if it is lawful money. So all debts are eradicated upon inception with this as well. And you know, if it is a legitimate lender, they receive their money instantly. We just create it and it's activated. This is the same way that banks operate. They instantly just create money and they loan it to you on interest, but actually they just create it out of thin air. That's why the whole world, over the last years has gone digital. They don't actually have the physical money. They just keep creating it and writing it down on a ledger. But really, the ledger doesn't have any relevance for them because they create at will. It is only something as part of the illusion to show the public, to make you think, that they are the only ones with the control of money. And that's absolutely not true. Where you are born here upon the planet, you have the same ability to create money as they do. You can create $250,000,000, in an instant. But what we're doing to make sure that this happens, we need everyone to unite and vote for this choice. And once we have all of these signatures, we just do it. And it's game over with the old system. Enough poverty and lack and causing misery and sickness for everyone. That is not humane. And this ultimate solution we are given is the ultimate to take humanity out of this. So there is really no reason for any humane one not to support this choice and sign it. And we have the full power and ability to integrate it. I would not be wasting my time, nor the others, if this was what you call a shot in the dark. It is not. It's much more of that. And we are the leaders that are bringing this to all of you and to humanity. I wish not to take no questions on this. Thank you at this time. Okay, let's go down the list a little bit further. Okay, in the old, you worry about having enough money. You never need to worry about having enough again. All lack is wiped out. You have everything you need and more. You are put into the comfortable situation. Uh, let's say in the old, no vehicle or home, every family is instantly funded and assured they have a home upon inception of the plan, and of course a means of transportation. For example, one uh, good, reliable vehicle per family. So it's instantly funded. Working long hours to survive. Very quickly, what we do is with the new, your hours are quickly reduced to a fraction, and there's no need to have the hard and tedious labor anymore with the new. We merely look at the essentials of taking humanity forward, the priorities like food and clothing and these sort of things, while with also the new, you no longer need accounting or the financial markets, and there becomes irrelevant industries like the financial industry, which is quickly transitioned to fit just a disbursement and distribution of funds going forward, and you don't need accounting. So, as a result of this, let's say from the financial sector, you have many that no longer needs jobs, and same as within the bureaucracies uh, within governments. A lot of these government workers are no longer needed. Many of these jobs were just fabricated to give one's employment to keep a control over them with the old system. So, what you'll have out of the financial systems and government employees, you'll have many of these no longer required to do those jobs. So, they add to the essentials of let's say transporting food products and growing and what have you, and where you have this huge workforce no longer required, it is distributed into the essential workforce, which then decreases drastically the load upon each one. So no longer do you need to work 40 hours, you only need to work, let's say, 4 or 5 hours a week. We don't set any exact figures on that, only relative, because with the global people's monetary system we have initiated, all of humanity must participate, and we find what works for all, and it's forever evolving. So you may start out upon the inception of working 10 hours for a community, but as we go forward, you may find very quickly. You only need to work 4 hours a week or a month, what have you. So it keeps going down. So if you do not like your present job, um, with the future and with the inception, you just choose something that you like to contribute to the worldwide community. We need to keep what you would call the economy going, but it's an economy that is going to transition very quickly upon the inception. And again, ones will have a choice to where they wish to contribute in society. And for example, won't need to be in an office all day like you were coerced to do to make a good living, let's say, before. So everything changes with that. And this also frees up, all of the individuals that you're doing something that you like, and with that comes, a more rapid productivity to advance humanity forward. So that is very good. Uh, so in the old, you have limited basic needs, and barely ones don't even have that. There is so much poverty out there, and ones, from day to day trying to make ends meet. Uh, homeless people do not know where their next food is coming from. So that's the old. With the new, you have everything you require to live comfortably. There is no lack. You don't need to know where your next food is coming from. It is there for you, and everything that you need. to comfortably live and to live in happiness and harmony as well. So, no more of that. Um, so, with the old, you have poverty, and with the new, poverty is instantly eradicated worldwide upon its inception because what you do is you just, all of those in poverty are and will sign their vote to this. So what instantly happens is that they activate their own money, and you break that codependency on the banks and the governments of the past. You don't need their money because we are all creating our own. And so you can see it's wiped out poverty in the blink of an eye. And again, we can do this within months. So anyone watching, spread the word. And let's get everyone signed up so we create this huge voice. Um, so let's say it says in the old, no free monetary monthly supplements. With the new, upon the inception, the approximately 12,000 US given with an initial payment to each man, woman, and child, and this is to establish your comfort right away with all your basic needs and also give you a good cushion as you very quickly transition forward to the comfortable lifestyle. And afterwards, we say approximately 6,000 per month afterwards, uh, providing that you contribute to uh, the worldwide community at advancing humanity in some way. For example, working in an essential field at growing food or what have you. And we need to keep this one condition factor on it. If not, you would shut down everything upon the planet. And this divine plan is to take humanity forward and take them out of the misery in the enslavement. So we have again the higher consciousness leaders which are upon the planet, and they're not parts of governments or existing leaders. We are here for humanity, and so it's none of the old with us. It's the new, and it's the insurance that it gets done this way. The governments are not going to do it for you, and the bankers, they're living their elite world at your expense. So we're flipping the tables here, if you will. And it doesn't matter, they can join if they want, or they'll become a recluse and be isolated by their own means. Okay, in the old, you have wages. In the new, you really don't have wages because they become irrelevant. You just, or if you wanted to work them out, uh, your wages for your hourly thing, I believe one comrade said, it probably could work out to 150 bucks an hour, but we really don't want to put a value and price tag on it because you're eliminating the need for wages and a set wage and all of this. They no longer reply in the way that they did to the new. And again, existing wealth that you have, it's honored into the new system at par value with the strongest currency upon inception of the people's monetary system that we activate. So, for example, if you have accumulated retirement funds of $1 million over your lifetime, you're not going to lose that. It's just going to be transitioned into the new monetary system. And ones that has devaluated or undervalued currencies. We could look at the Zim and the Dong and Iraqi dinar if you have. you know, very instantly upon inception or just shortly before inception. All of these currencies have to go to par, meaning that, uh, in the initial inception of it, that you're going to have also many rich people, but this money will be spread out, if you will, and it doesn't really matter um, that they'll be instantly rich because we just go into a sharing world that uh, it all equals out. So there's nothing lost with it. They can keep it all. It doesn't matter to you or one that was in poverty if they have it all because you now also uh, have it all in your ability to access your wealth is is instantaneous as well. So, existing monetary wealth, we just covered that. Yeah. So you remove all of your funds from the stock markets and you just change them into just transition them into the new system at a par value to the strongest currency upon the planet just prior to inception. So you don't lose anything. But the stock markets no longer exist in the future. The financial markets and trading, they are not part of it. They are not required. Profit and loss in this old now. There is no profit in the future, and there is no loss. It's only unlimited gain and sharing. So, with profit and loss, it is no longer part of the capitalistic, uh, restricted, controlled society. So you eliminate that. And, there is no need for really any accounting because no records need to be shown also in the future. So you don't need accountants. And so there's another irrelevant job that comes up. So an accountant can do something else, enjoy his or her family more, and do something they love. So your job will become more or less like a hobby. So this will be great. That's eliminated. Okay, in the old system, you have fines. There are no fines in the new system, and all fines from the old system are instantly uh, forgiven and eradicated. They do not apply. There is no, in the new system, there is no benefit to anyone, and it becomes preposterous to fine someone for wrongdoing, if you will. There becomes, yeah, no reason to do it. Permits, fees, insurance, license, registration, all that no longer. It's non existent and it's not required in the new system because, these cash cow and to keep control over the people. So we're not looping, we're going straight forward. So to see how ridiculous it actually is. And that you don't need to pay yourself. We just keep activating your unlimited wealth. Uh, so that is good. Okay, so you have restrictive trade worldwide now, and it's controlled, by the financial markets and what have you. What we do with this is no restrictive trade in the future. There are committees set up that there's free trade worldwide, allocating the products, where they need to go. So you have a huge transport system, but it's on a sharing basis and assuring, that food still get delivered and all of this. Um, Currently, many global currencies, only one global currency um, will be the new what we are doing, and it'll be the lawful dollar. It will not be what you call legal tender or what have you. This is divine law, so it becomes a lawful dollar and very rapidly becomes the only method of exchange on a transitional temporary basis as humanity goes forward to find they don't actually need money. They don't really need an exchange system that is valued because you have the open sharing, but you also have the technology that advances humanity quickly forward, where it becomes, very quickly more easily seen, you don't even need money. What is it for? It's actually becomes just a distraction in the future, and money is a hindrance. So you no longer need it in the future. And this is divine, and what we're doing is that you know, the old, the dark, and the ill intent, if you will, they use money to control people. So divinely, we're flipping the tables and actually using the money to take away the control upon the people and to liberate them. So we're flipping the tables on that, and the people can do it, and the people will do it. And again, as you're seeing, so far I'm down maybe 20 so um, comparisons, and you're seeing already, how it becomes. Really, it's not a choice. It's just making that decision to vote. Ones really don't have to take long to decide if this is what they wish to support. And having said that, because of the simplicity of it, even the children are able to sign and autograph this to support for their future and to establish their freedom and not to take them out of the present enslavement and years of indoctrination and conditioning in schools and what have you. So that is eliminated with this as well. And the children, in most countries, they could not vote unless they were 18 years old. No, that is not with this. Any child uh, can sign this, even younger toddlers, because their parents or guardians can put their name in on this. And we also had a 7-year-old child that knew it's what he wanted for his future, that full freedom. So at 7 years old, a child is able to discern that it becomes, common sense when you have this type of a choice that it's what you want for your future instead of what you have now. So, okay, all currencies, Brock did that. Okay, so what you have now is you have a proportionate asset backed currencies, materially backed. It's what they say, but actually, it's not. There's not enough gold out there and not enough assets to back what is loaned out. So that is a falsity, in this old that you see. And it is also a misconception for ones to think that you actually need a material asset other than the self to create a money and to base a value upon. The only reason that they had, let's say, gold as a bullion is because the ones that owned the gold controlled the value of the money, which controlled you. So with this, you need no other backing for the currency other than yourself. And this is what we're doing. We're activating your full access to unlimited money and funding as well as mine. But altogether, we just create this and we end the ridiculous insanity upon the planet and the enslavement and the control by the governments and what have you that just caused absolute misery and more. So, children spending many years in schools now, the new children are not required to go to schools. It's all transitioned that no more public schools with this, and there are many reasons why. I know many of you can think of very quickly why, not the public schools, but because of the conditioning and what they're taught was to fit into an old paradigm, and that's not where we're going. And children will be able to explore their best interests, what they're interested into. They'll not be coerced nor forced to learn something that they do not. So it's all changing with that, plus many instantly upon inception, many mystery schools, children's um, advancement schools, if you will. These type of things will be funded very quickly, and where the children learn the essentials, but they learn the essentials of the new reality, not the old. So they're not condemned nor enslaved to this reality, let's say, of going to school and college, 20 some years of their life and getting out with huge debt before they even enter the workforces. Uh, and that sort of ridiculous thing, and working all their life to pay off a debt, which the debt was just created out of thin air and forced upon them to keep them in a life of work and ridiculous slavery. So, children have full choice. Uh, Restriction on number of children that parents can have. It's dictated like kind of in societies in different countries today. For example, China, you might only be allowed to have one or two children. I just forget actually what their laws were. In the new, there is none of these ridiculous laws and restrictions to come together to procreate children, and there's no way that anyone else should decide how many children that a couple wish to have together. So again, that preposterous thing is taken out, and this begins to go into our simplified law where there simply is no law. So many of these stringent laws that were created over time in the society, they become very small once you take that controlling aspect out of it. What the laws that they created was intended to do to restrict and control you and to rob you of all of your God-given rights and your liberties. Like what is occurring now with the corona, except, this is intense, but it's to show everyone it's time to stand up and join together and unite so we create the new out of this foolishness, what is currently going on. So, in the old, you had degrees and diplomas. They're not required in the future. Everyone knows what they can do. You don't need a certificate to prove your skills or what you can do. None of that applies. Uh, in the senior citizen, social assistant, disability people. In the new, what occurs? There is no expectation of the seniors to work. They have contributed their lifetime to creating now. But of course, if they want to volunteer to the community, they can. However, upon inception, their money is given equally the same as all the rest that are contributing hours to the global community. And of course, any disabled person is not expected to work at all. They receive their full funding. Plus, in the new, there will be less and less disabilities as more and more of the new healing technology and modalities are released to the planet. And also, having said that, with this new system, once you eliminate that huge stress from the planet, it begins very quickly to eliminate most sicknesses as well. So you have a twofold effect, which is very effective with it. So only ones, anticipated to work are the healthy ones to put in a few hours a week just to keep humanity moving forward. Uh, Also, there's been a lot of patents in technology ready to be released that these uh, these new patents and new technologies uh, out of that are being released on top of more coming in to the surface and through the ingenious thought and the ingenuity of the children uh, that no longer need to learn something that doesn't apply, that they can put their focus on their genius, their self, and very rapidly, uh, where they are not contained within 20 some years of schooling and condition, they're able to focus on the advancement. So, very rapidly, humanity advances forward with so many new technologies as well. Um, so, present in the old, you have healthcare expenses. Everything is free in the new. It's all just funded by us, so no one pays for that. Cost to live, and there is no cost to live in the future. You actually thrive. Restrictive travel now, that is wiped out. You're allowed to travel freely upon the planet, wherever you wish to go, and to also live. However, there is that respect and courtesy of where someone already lives that you do not infringe nor impose upon them. And there'll be assurances that none of that occurs as well. As all borders go, there are no longer any countries with this. It's geographical areas, and ones are allowed to move and migrate around the planet wherever they feel, uh, keeping in mind the respect and courtesies of others that already have homesteads, let's say. But you're going to see a lot of sharing going on as well when ones also don't need to hoard land, let's say, because they thought it had a monetary value. So once really the land ownership changes and it has no value anymore, it lessens the reasons for one to hold on to hectares and acres of land. So it becomes shared as well. So, uh, so very limited rights and ability to choose right now, full individual rights and the right to choose in the new. We're liberating everyone, and everyone respects the individual rights. So no one is controlled by ridiculous laws they have now. In the old divorce courts, they're not required in the future. No one needs a written contract to say that they love someone and that they're married. It doesn't apply to the future. And let's say if two comes together uh, and they separate, they all get their own money and assets are just split, let's say split equally, but it doesn't even matter for that. If someone needs, if a, let's say if a separation occurs, it doesn't matter what one has because you just have all and everything you need in the future. So there is no need for divorce courts and these sort of ridiculous legal things that again was put there to control ones. But also in the future, uh, it is more harmonious relationships as well after the inception because you're taking off the stress of the people and you're also, let's say, with what was the main provider in most families, the man kept away at work long hours. Well, what you're actually doing is the man does not need to work, or if it was the woman, long hours. So you're having more coming back together and more harmony by the reduced workload instead of the separation that it caused in families, separation of spouses and separation of their children at daycares all day, like, because of the drive to make the money, which was the illusion. So now they don't need to do this like they did before, so their children can be home with them. And let's say if a father's got to go a few hours a week to do something, well, it's only a few hours, and the family time is restored, which creates that harmony back for the families. So the society, the way it was in the old, no longer separates. What the inception actually brings ones back together. Utility bills in this old, they're all free with the new and what we do. These are essentials. So let's say if you have a, uh, well, we have new technology coming, but let's say if you have for your power for your houses that you pay that utility, in the future there is nothing because where it's an essential industry, it is fully funded by us from the people if it needs money. But very quickly, what happens, let's say with the power industry, all of the workers that are signed on are getting their own money and they're only contributing hours. So very quickly with any utility company, there is no reason to profit. It's only to supply the service. So with that, there are no fees. Uh, Now in this old, you have inflation. Uh, just before inception of the new, the entire world price index is frozen, all prices worldwide. And then what occurs after the inception and the rollout, you see massive deflation. One of the biggest reasons is because payrolls are eliminated and there's the base price or let's say a month to comfortably survive. And that will, if it needs to, just keeps getting lower every month. As you have deflation, the cost to live is being eradicated transitionally. So then you have little requirement for money as ultimately money is phased out altogether. Right now, upon the planet, you have many beliefs and religions. In the old, in the new, it doesn't matter what your beliefs are. And what we're doing with this, it, it doesn't hinge on beliefs whatsoever. All of humanity are coming together for the one common goal, to create the freedom. So your beliefs are yours, and no one has a right to take that away from you. And you don't need to have beliefs or religions to be part of this. The common sense is there and the common goal. Do you wish to vote for this choice? And it is again a simple choice. Um, so in the old, you have much pollution, improper waste management, garbage disposal. In the new, this is all the effort is put right there instantly upon inception as well to fund and get the planet cleaned up. So all of the old practices will be eliminated very rapidly, and the cleanup goes into full force upon the planet. Also, we have new technology. Some of you may have seen over the last several years of new technology to clean up the pollution. So much of that is already there. Plus, we have uh, new technology and also other measures that we take, which rapidly reduces the pollution and cleans up the air quality. So right now you have individual country government voting in the new on any serious decision making. It will be by referendum and it'll be the worldwide participation. That if there's any major decisions to make at taking humanity forward, it will be by a referendum. So the choices are not made um, for you by selective governments and what have you that really never did anything for you and kept you suppressed. So this way, everyone participates, everyone has a voice, including the children, as I previously said. So, companies and business and government payrolls, they become non existent. Uh, you don't need businesses and companies in the future the way they are. It's just all a sharing and transitioning the old ways of profit into the new. So, for example, you don't need high executive paying jobs and these sort of things. It's not compatible with the new. Uh, again, because you're wiping out um, profit as well, and there's no reason for it. We're restoring the life and alleviating the control that money had upon one's. Uh, Governments and political parties in the past, you're having a worldwide administration that is chosen by the people. And these are the higher consciousness individuals that are divinely sent here that have only the full good intent for the people in advancing humanity forward. So again, there is no taking from the people other than taking the chains off of them and everyone working together in peace and harmony and sharing and moving humanity forward out of this primitive state that it is now in. So today you have global competition. There's no competition in the future, only sharing. Um, Today you have many banks. There's only a few distribution centers in this future with the inception of the monetary system that you need to disperse and distribute funds worldwide. Charities now, they're not required in the future. In the inception, once that occurs, everyone has enough. Uh, Tension and fighting between countries and governments now, there's no fighting in the future because once you eliminate the lack, there is nothing to fight about. It's all sharing. Uh, right now, you have huge militaries and weapons. Again, they're in the upon inception in the transitional period. There are no militaries or any reason to have any weapons of war because, again, there becomes nothing to fight for. You have everyone working together. You have now, you had over the years a huge progression to GMO foods. And, okay, so I'll get back. I was just checking, make sure I'm still alive here. But now what you're seeing is that, so you saw the GMO foods, but now you're having the reversal back to the organic foods and the heirloom seeds, ancient seeds are coming back, and you're going to see that transition back into the healthy, vital life force of the non-GMO foods. So this transition will occur, and instantly all organic farms are instantly fully funded in communities as well upon the inception uh, of the monetary system. So I'm getting near the bottom. So in the old, you had misery for many, like you have today, and the new choice that you have is happiness for all. And again, in the old, you had lack. In the future, and upon inception, there's only abundance for all upon the planet. So with that, you can see that this is the ultimate solution for humanity. So great. Thank you all for looking at this, and I will end this up right at this time. And please share this also with all of your friends and people to let them know, this is their choice. This is a vote, and all they need to do, it doesn't cost them any money, but the quicker they autograph or sign this, that they support it. That is their vote. So all they need to do to vote for it is sign it. We need that because the signature creates the worldwide voice. And once we get this huge number of 1 billion or 1.7 billion, we have the most powerful voice upon the planet. And this is the fuel that gets this done, that we have the inception of this beautiful, divine, full freedom plan for all of humanity, and that we eradicate this ridiculous enslavement and suppressed humanity. And during this time, of course, what I'm speaking about, this is the new that's coming. So this is the reason why all have been experiencing the great awakening to be prepared for this time to create the new. So there is a reason for it, and it's also why you're shown with all of your governments and leaders by their actions what they are doing. It had to be revealed to you that their intent was not genuine. And what we are speaking about, what I'm speaking about here with this global monetary system, if all governments worldwide had your interest or the public's interest definitely in mind, and if all governments were true representatives of the people, what we are doing together, they could do in about 2 days. They could distribute the funds worldwide. And you know, they could have done that at any time over the last century, but they didn't do it. It's because they don't want to. And it's because they are not the ones for you to be dependent upon to do it for you. It needs to be done by us, the people, and create that one huge voice. That gets it done. If you don't do this, you'll be waiting years and years and years of suppression. It takes the people to do it. We must come together as one voice now. The quicker we do, the quicker that things like poverty is instantly eradicated. So let this go viral, get it out everywhere. We need to collect those signatures on the website. Please share the website and pass the word on the street. The quicker we get this number, the quicker we can bring the inception into fruition. And this could be done in a matter of 2 months or, months. It can be done that quickly. All we need you to do is get this out there, get the people to vote for it through signing and autographing their consent. Then it's a done deal. Then we do it. And no banks nor governments can stand against this divine plan, what we have. And, if they do, it only reveals their ill intent, and it more so reveals their opposition to it, which would mean that it's not in the best interest. And what this does, it makes it easier for us if they oppose it when it's taken to them, which will be done in the near future. It reveals their intent, the governments, and then we use that information to show the rest of humanity, what the actual intent of the governments are. So great. And, the majority of the population around the world is poor, in poverty, was controlled by money. So when you look at the numbers, you can see that the majority wins, and that's us. It's just getting the majority all together in one place, and it's a done deal. Love and light, and have a beautiful day. Much